So from day one, what I recall, or let's say what was important, I believe in that day, was when we discussed about the skills. So we are in the restart of the industry, but also we know that there has been a kind of shortage of skills, that we need to attract new joiners in the industry. And to attract new joiners, we need to create those programs that are going to be equipping those future aviation professionals with the right skills. We need to attract people who have never been in this industry and instill this safety culture that they absolutely need to have to operate. So for me, the most important was to say, how can we attract them? But most important, as training organization, is design the right goals for them to be equipped and deliver that safe industry we want to fly with. Over to you, Lisa.
Maybe if I can complement. So from day one, we also spoke a lot about sustainability. Sustainability can mean a lot of different things to different people. What we heard from David is that there is a little bit of lack of alignment and standards. What do we consider and how we should measure in different things. So there are many different approaches to sustainability. But if I can say, it really starts from us. So the change always has to start from us and see how we can then influence the others. We also spoke on Monday, right, on Wednesday, in terms of sustainability, especially on the social aspect, about passengers with reduced mobility. So we had here a very interesting panel, and we also announced the Ask First, which I think is a great contribution of Queen Elizabeth Foundation and IATA to actually educate all of the existing professionals and young professionals to come into the industry how to deal with special passengers or passengers with special needs.
Excellent. I think that was the day one.
Yes.
Day two, we went for this. It was full of innovation, full of new technologies. What we have seen is that there is a disconnect between the technologies that exist and how society is actually ready to implement it for safety. So we had a very interesting panel here with the Airbus, UK CAA, and they tried to explain us the more we're going to be collaborating between regulators and operators to really on time, before any technology is up and ready, but before all of that, to agree on what are those standards and how do we apply it in safety for the aviation. If we do that quite in advance with this collaboration, we'll be able to succeed in implementing them. So that was one of the key takeaways that I've recalled for this panel.
And again, if I can complement to make this happen, we learn also that learning is really a process, not a single event. So it's an ongoing and continuous basic investment. And I think one another key takeaway that I would want to share is we should learn how to not forget instead of focusing on how to memorize things. So it's a shift again in terms of the mindset.
Exactly. And today we had a very great presentation with the UNWTO. And I was surprised when she said that most of the investments are done for other aspects of the industry. 10% only in the industry, in the aviation, in the air transport. So that was one. The majority was on ground transportation. So that's an eye opener, and mainly in the US. So very few in Europe, and they were struggling to actually manage and do something about it. So that was very interesting this morning about that.
And one interesting thing to me, in fact, that Natalia shared was that travel and tourism is obviously a big industry, it's a global industry, but we have only 6 countries that are leading in terms of training in travel and tourism and hospitality. So we said that that creates a lot of opportunities, right? Every time that we have a challenge, we also have an opportunity to work together with different industry organizations, but also with you as a training partners to see how to create this opportunity in terms of learning, but also in terms of bringing those qualified individuals into the industry.
Totally. Then we have the safety simulation game. Maybe you want to talk about it?
I think that was an interesting one because we saw what does it mean to actually apply learning IATA is trying to really be more on the experiential side of learning and shift from dumping the content into more applicable type of learning. We got a lot of positive feedback. We said that our safety simulation is in a beta test. We will be launching it in November. And yeah,
I think it's also good to remind that we had the DG Compass, which is also another simulation games that Ellie has been presenting us. You remember, it's all about spaced practice. So the more we are practicing, the better we're going to be acquiring the skills and take it along with us. So I believe that all those simulation games is the future, and IATA and IATA Training, we're really willing to be your partner for that. So we're very happy about it.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie, for reminding me about DG Compass. And also, we celebrated during these 2-3 days 50 years, right? So we learned about the AGIS model. We reminded everybody today that A stands for attention, G for generation, E for emotions, and S for excellent.
Wonderful.
So
with that, I think we celebrate the 50 years anniversary of IATA Training. We had a wonderful night yesterday. There was another anniversary. If I had
Yes, there was another anniversary, right? We were also celebrating Stephanie's birthday. It was just a coincidence.
Super coincidence, and we had a lot it was a great moment, so thank you very much. But it's all about IATA Training and the 50 years that we had together, so congrats.
Thank you.